Today we're going to set up the UVs for a character inside of Houdini. Let's take a look. So I have this character here that I'm going to UV. The first thing that we need to do is be able to select all of the edge loops where I want to separate the different shells for the character, or also known as UV islands. So I'm going to switch over to edge mode, and then I have the select tool selected, and then here for that option we can switch over to different modes here, but the mode that I want to go into is cut geometry for UV layout, so I'm going to select that. And then here I can start selecting edges that I want, and being in this selection mode I can actually click, and without having to hold the shift down or anything like that, I can actually get geometry or the selection to stay. I don't have to keep on remembering to do that, and if I push control I can deselect anything. So I'm going to start off by trying to separate the head. If I push the A button down and middle mouse button click, it starts trying to select a loop, and that gives us a good start here. And then I'm going to hold down A and see where that takes it. Not exactly where I was expecting, but I actually do need that loop here, and I can deselect these few here. There you go. And just trying to make sure that I didn't deselect anything on the other side. And then here, I don't need that separated like that. I'm just trying to get a loop here. Another thing that you can do is click and then hold down A, and it's going to give you the shortest path, or the way that it can find the path to get to that point. So that's a good way to select a nice range of UVs. And you can see here when I'm in the UV layout mode, it actually separates out the shells into different colors, so that's kind of nice. And I want to not have these. I don't know why they got reselected. There we go. Just double checking this side. Cool. So here I can do the same thing, and then try to get the ear as well, like we did on that side. So and here I got that same looping issue. So I'm going to deselect all of these here. There we go. So let's see where this took us here. That's really close, so I'm going to connect it there to close off that shell. And then go through here and separate the ear. There we go, so you have the ear on a separate shell. Let's take a look at this here. Maybe not that one. There we go. I just want to get to a place where I can separate the face from the rest of the body. We got that there, so we have the whole face on its own shell. I will also want to take the inside of the mouth here, wherever I can find an edge loop. Does it not loop? It should. Well, looks like it does have a loop, it's just not happy with the edge loop tool, because that goes there, then we can go here, and go all the way back to this side, and we got a loop. So that way we separate the inside of the mouth from the outside, and maybe this one is a little bit too much outside. I want to get right on the rim to separate that. Oops, wrong edge, so I'm going to undo that. Here to here, here to there. There we go. So we separate the inside of the mouth and the outside part of the face. I don't have an inside part of the eye. I just kind of trimmed it right at where the eyeball would be. So I'm not going to worry about that. To get a little bit less distortion, also we can split in the front of the face right here, so that way there's not as much distortion when we get here. And if we wanted to, we can do that a little bit here as well. So I kind of have the head going now. So I want to look at the rest of the body. So let's take a look at doing the there, and then get closer so we can see the connection that we're going to make. Boop. There we go. So that's going to be kind of the top seam of the body section. Then I'm going to cut off the arms and then cut off the body on the side and the other side. Excuse me. So here, so that separated the arm there, and I can try to do that on this side now. There we go, so we got the other arm, and now we just need a seam for the top. Get there, and then get closer, and get the rest of the way. There we go. So you can see, even though we cut the top right now, it's still one patch because they're the same color. We still need a it's still connected with everything down here, which we need to disconnect. So let's take a look at maybe trying, oops, right here on the side. And they got the arm all the way up and through the feet, so that's good. And let's try this side. This one stopped a little bit. Maybe if I choose one here, I like the other one better. And we can extend that if we needed to. Both sides of this character aren't symmetrical. It might be a little bit easier if the models were. There. connects to this side. Good. And then I just need to get this seam to connect over here. Let's see what it's going to try to do that. Oops. Let's go around, like, because we're gonna need to do that anyways. There we go. So on this side, I am going to do the same thing. There. Excuse me. And I can get the front working over here. Maybe I'll reconnect it there. Oops. Connect that there and just disconnect this. It's a little bit of a weird tile, but it should work anyways. Then here, put a seam so that way it's easier to flatten that out. And probably the same thing here. Take edge there and strip that out. And I'll do that on this side here. And then work on creating a loop here to follow. There we go. Have that separated. And then we have the seam to give us a little bit more control on the bottom. There we go. So now I want to separate the legs. There we go. So we have the legs separated from the body. There we go. And for some reason I have an edge selected there, so I'm going to deselect that. So we have the lower part of the body, the main part of the body, and the head set up. Now I just need to do the arms. So let's do some selections here. I'm going to start off trying to do an edge loop, see where that connects. And that's looping around the whole body, so I'm not going to do that. Let's try separating the hand. Let's see where this goes. And that loops around too, but not as bad, so I'm just going to deselect that. And that gives us a start. Oops, I want to deselect the bottom part for that seam. Cool. Get that there, and then try to connect these. There you go. So we have the arm separated from the head. And let's focus on the hand for a moment. This one should be relatively easy. Middle click to do the edge loop here. And middle click. And then middle click with the A selected. So when you select with the A, it will do an edge loop for you. And then with just a regular click we can connect from one point to another. So setting that up here, and I'm trying to hide as many of the seams as I can underneath areas where we won't see them as often. So the underneath of the part of the arm, the palm we don't see as often, things like that. And then I'm going to split off the top and the bottom part of the hand. Oops. Just control click that one, and there you go. And then we just need to connect this last one here. There you go. So we have the top and bottom split off, and we have the hand. Technically with this arm we can just do it all in one piece like that, but there's going to be a little bit of distortion here, which I don't want, so I'm going to try to separate it here at the bend. Actually, let's go this way. There we go. So we have one part of the arm and the other part of the arm. So let's try that here. I'm going to I don't want that one, I want that one. There we go. So we have top and bottom part of the arm done. Here. There we go. And then we can do the edge loops for the fingers. Oops, I don't want it to go all the way around the body. Just click here and do that. There we go. So we have the fingers separated from the palm of the hand. And we can separate the top and bottom part of the hand as well. And then this should be the last one. There we go. And then I am going to try to split the fingers here so that we get a little bit better texture area. Here we go. So that looks good for our character. We have all the different areas split apart. There's some areas that maybe we can make a little bit better. You can try to maybe split a little bit here along the zygomatic arch, or this that goes to the zygomatic over here, just to prevent a little bit more distortion, things like that. But generally this is kind of the shape that I'm working with here for my character. Now I'm going to go to the modeling tab, the model tab in my shelf, and click group, and it's going to create a group based off of the selections that we had there, which is perfect. I'm going to create a transform because I found it's kind of the easiest way to do this, because if not it keeps on trying to select the edges, but then we can get rid of it if we wanted to, because we don't really need it. But going to create a transform node here, connect them together, and then I'm going to go to texture, and in texture I'm going to click on the UV Flatten tool. It's going to ask us to select the polygons to flatten. I'm going to select all of those and then push enter, and then it's just going to ask us where edge seams. We already have that in the group, so I'm not going to select any right now, and push enter to finalize that. Here in the seam groups, like I said, we have it with group 1, so I'm going to select group 1, and that's going to create the seams for us. And let's take a look at this. So I'm going to do a split view here. So here's my perspective view, and on this one I'm going to set up my UV viewport, and we can see the UVs that we have for our character now. And that's how you UV a character. So that's how you set up the UVs for a character inside of Houdini. If you liked it or found it useful, helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you created any work based off of this, I'd love to see it. Please share it with me on my Twitter account, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.